Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Tuesdays with Rebel. I am your host, Ricky Rebel, and I have an amazing guest who's already here in the green room. His name is Mike Harlow, and we are going to talk about some LGBT issues and conservatism and, how they blend together and how they don't blend together. And we're just going to go in on all of these subjects that I have been avoiding lately. Let's just put it that way. I've been trying to focus on other things, anything but politics for a while. But you know what? I decided, fuck it. I'm going to go and talk about it. We're going to talk about the issues and we're going to get real. We're going to ruffle some feathers. We're going to, explore the conversation. And because I think it's what basically a lot of what my audience on these platforms, YouTube and Facebook, I think a lot of you guys like that about me, the fact that I just speak my mind, and or at least I really used to do that a lot. But I've decided, hey, one day out of the week, I could talk to you and talk about these serious, quote, political subjects, which is really just, they're just subjects, right? If you're watching this live broadcast, please share the broadcast. Okay, first of all, if you're on Facebook, share this live broadcast. If you're on YouTube, you can also share it. You can also subscribe to my channel. I want to give a big shout out to my sponsor, which is C60 Evo. Boom. This is an amazing product, which is 1,000 times more powerful than vitamin C. It's an antioxidant. It has more antioxidant power than vitamin C, and it's a really amazing um, supplement that I take every single day, and also I take a shot before every show. Mm. Cheers! Cheers to good health. Thank you, C60 Evo, for sponsoring me. Go to rickyrebelrocks.com and click on the C60 Evo tab. Also, a link is in the description below. If you are interested in glowing skin, in having a better night's rest, also feeling more well rested, getting more energy, this is the product to have in your cabinet. All right, my fellas just came into the room. This is like I feel like we're like the gay view right now. This is total. This is what I wanted, exactly what I wanted. So I just wanted to one by one get him up here and introduce first of all Mike Harlow, my dear friend. Let's get him up on the screen. Mike Harlow.
Hey, Ricky.
Hey.
It's good to see you. I haven't seen you in a bit.
I know. When was the last time we saw each other? Well, that panel with Brandon?
2020 sometime.
Was it with the panel with Brandon Strock on with
I feel like we must have seen each other at some point around like election time. Although maybe I've just like blocked that out. I feel like every time I think about 2020, I'm like, maybe it'll have a different ending this time.
What a nightmare that was, right?
Like PTSD.
Well, I mean, our also mutual friend Brandon went through a lot.
Yeah.
A lot. And I'm really grateful he had a friend like you in his corner that I'm sure, was there to offer him the support he needed through that time.
Yeah, hopefully it's horrible, but it's kind of just what we're all living under now with this. It's basically like we have a two-tiered system for leftists and non-leftists. So he's one huge example of that. But I think that if we don't put a stop to what's happening now, I think that's going to be reality for all of us pretty soon.
That's why this conversation is so important. And I'm so grateful to have you on the show. Thank you.
Oh, thanks for having me.
All right. The next person I'm going to invite up here is Conservative Ant. Okay. He's the first time person on my show. Here he is. Ladies. Hey.
Hi, guys. Look at these beautiful. I'm sorry. I don't have this like fabulous background right now because I scheduled myself a beauty day at 3:30 Eastern to get my beard trimmed. So
all right.
We're here in the car.
You're here in the car. You look fantastic.
I'm so excited to finally talk to you. I'm such a big fan.
He loves you.
Both of you so much.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I love your content too. I've been watching your brilliant TikTok videos and
thank you.
Your reels. I think all of that is just really helping get the word out that not every gay person is exactly the same. Very
Yeah.
important.
You guys mentioned Brandon Straka. Like, I think that for a lot of gay conservatives or gay moderates, really, I think that he kind of like catapulted us to be like, he was really the one that I was like, oh my God, I can say what I want to say and be real about it. And so it's so great to have us doing the same thing and have people come forward more and more every day.
He's an absolute trailblazer. Period. He's a fellow Sagittarius, and that's how we roll, bitch. Leader.
That makes me happy that people think of
He's a leader.
Brandon as like, when they think of gay conservatives, I'm like, oh, finally, we're not defined by like some clown.
Right.
Milo.
Absolutely. Oh, I see what you mean. Yes.
Or just in general, it's like,
Voldemort.
good. We're like heading towards serious people.
We can't say that name. All right. Next person on screen is Info Savage. Woo! Hello, sir.
How's it going? Hi.
Hey!
Nice to see everyone.
Good to see you
I
too.
was happy to meet you too.
Awesome. Mike Harlow loves you too. I love your content as well.
Thank you. Thank you. Hi,
How
Aunt.
are you?
Hi, how are you, Frankie?
I'm good. I'm good. I've done quite a few stuff with Ant, so it's nice to do something with him again. It's nice to meet you too. This is my first time like on someone else's platform, so I've never done
Dope.
that before.
Okay,
you
but
are.
you guys
Yeah.
should know real quick, not to like come in and like talk over Frankie, but he was literally never showing his face when he first started content. He was
Aw.
so reveal
Yeah.
of who he was 2 years ago.
Yeah, I was just
Wow.
kind of just a voiceover. Yeah.
So what gave you the courage to kind of do it? Or just to,
Um,
or what changed your mind about that?
it was just I noticed like it was so hard to do these voiceovers and getting like stock footage. It was just a lot more work, and then like I just figured, you know what, screw it. Like let me just do it, and then I did it, and I just haven't stopped, and it's been nice. I've been using my name a lot more, like my actual real name, versus like Info Savage. So it's nice that people are recognizing me for me and not just like my voice.
Oh, got it. Got it. Well, I'm so grateful to have all you guys here, and I kind of took a step back from the P word. I call it the P word now, politics, uh, because it just got so. I was really disenfranchised in 2020. You know, when they stole the cookies from the cookie jar, I was pissed. I was pissed at every, facet. I was pissed at the Dems. I was pissed at the Reds. I was pissed at Mike Pence and the Republicans who didn't fight and help try to, at least look into the cookies being stolen from the jar. You know what I mean? They didn't even do anything to try to. So I tapped out. I was like, at this point, I said, the second he puts that hammer down, Mike Pence, I'm out of the game. Like, we're done. Like, they're gonna have to work. The powers that be who are on top are gonna have to figure this stuff out and work at it, which they have been doing in the background. We can't really talk about it openly, but I'm just trying to explain to you guys, because sometimes I get people like even Brandon Strzok calling me like, "Hey Ricky, so what's the deal? Are you not doing this anymore? Are you you step?" I'm like, "No. Well, first of all, I'm focusing on my music, number one, which should be the focus always. But number two, um, I just I got really disenfranchised, and I don't know how. I just applaud you guys just for keeping on going, keep on expressing yourself throughout the depression. There's just that you probably were experiencing from the lockdowns, from I mean, the alleged bio thing. You know what I mean? All these words we can't speak, all these ways we can't talk without being censored. You guys I mean, I know you're constantly having to create new accounts. Let's just talk about what keeps you guys motivated to keep on going and fighting the good fight. I'll start with you, conservative Ant.
I will say that the messages that I receive from people that have young LGBT, or not even just young, teenagers that aren't ready to vote yet, and saying thank you so much, like, for what you stand for fighting for kids, for educating them in politics, so that they're, because look, everything that was misinformation, guys, is now real information. We said this like 2.5 years ago. Okay. Like, hi, we already know. But I think it's just important, like, even though you get the bad ones, there's so many more good ones that overshadow that you're like, I don't care. It's another hater. Bye. Have a good day.
Got it. How about you, Mikey?
Oh God, I don't know. I never shut up. Nobody will ever shut me up. But I sort of took a little bit of a step back from making videos and content the last year. I'm kind of just starting to get back into it now because it was really a mind fuck that all of 2020 I was traveling with Walkaway. We were probably, I think, one of, if not the only right-leaning group who was out there doing stuff in 2020. And we worked so hard. And I mean, you could feel the momentum for Trump. I live in New York City. And when I would just going to the grocery store, I'd wear a Trump hat. I'd get a dozen people coming up, high-fiving me. You could feel where it was going. It was so palpable. So for that to be the outcome after all this hard work, and then after months and months of traveling the whole country, I come back. New York is totally locked down. There's nowhere to go, nothing to do. It was horrible. But I feel like the only thing you can do is keep going. For me, I feel like I almost wish this weren't the case, but I feel like kind of the only thing that keeps me going is a sense of right and wrong. The stuff that's happening is just abjectly wrong. It is so horribly wrong. And I don't think anyone can stand for that. And I totally agree with Ant. Like, it's insane to me, some of the messages I get. People are so nice and so wonderful. So I feel, but that, demoralization, I think, is really a big part of this. And we can't let that happen. We have to keep going and keep supporting each other, because at some point we're all going to feel this way. So we have to just keep supporting each other and keep going and not let the bastards get you down.
Right. Absolutely. How about you, Info Savage?
Yeah. So I started, when I started making content, I started Info Savage because of all of the misinformation that was going on back in 2019 and 2020. Especially when they took, one of our president's leaked audios and chopped it up so horribly. And I had the software to put this stuff out there and give people high quality mainstream media style information, and it be factual. So that's why I started Info Savage. And I was actually at Ant's house during the election, when we were all experiencing this, and we were just like so taken back. Like, I remember the moment, it was very heavy in the house. Like, when they just stopped counting, we were all just so confused. Like, and we were getting tons of messages from people from all over, like trying to figure out what was going on. And we were just trying to make like uplifting content. And I just feel like ever since then, it was hard to kind of stay motivated, especially after, he took office. I feel like the hammer came really hard down. For me, it was the messages, but also seeing other people like myself keep going. Because I know I've had my struggles. I've been shadow banned. I've lost my accounts. And it's a hard pill to swallow. But when you see other people like yourself fighting the good fight, and it does something for me and makes me want to go even harder and keep working at it.
I see. Got it. Well, I'm proud of you guys for keeping on and going and expressing yourself, not being intimidated. I think that's the main thing. They want us to feel intimidated. They want us to feel like nobody agrees but we all know there's huge censorship going on. But I want to talk, which brings me up to this like kind of crazy stuff, like kind of the ways that I got back into the community, which is back into our community again, was I got invited to a group chat with a group called Gays Against, and I can't say the other word. I can't even say the other word. It rhymes with boomers, but it starts with a G.
It's sad you can't say it.
I can't even say the word because it's a slur. They want to make it an LGBT slur, which is pretty effed up.
That should tell you what they think of LGBT people.
Yeah.
Yes.
Exactly. Especially when we're the ones using it. Like, Yeah, I think we should be the ones to constitute what we deem as a slur for our community, not some power at B.
They
Right.
won't. These people. They won't call that, but they'll call gay people queer.
Oh, I hate that.
Make
Oh,
that.
yeah, I hate that.
Is
I
it?
know.
Wait, why do we all hate that though? I
It's
hate that.
disgusting.
It's literally for being like a little boy and somebody be like, "Don't be queer," and like it was offensive. Like queer was an
Yeah.
offensive word, and now y'all have made it like it's good. It's okay. I'm so confused.
It's not.
And
It's
it means the actual dictionary definition. It means every negative stereotype that's ever been used against gay people for all of history, that you're abnormal, mentally deranged, shady, suspicious. Again, this is what they actually think of gay people.
That's why whenever I do the hashtag LGBT, I omit that Q. I'm
Hell,
like, fuck that shit. I don't know what that is. Like, I'm not putting that
give
on
the
there.
surgery to the Q. Give it the chop.
Definitely. What's sad is that when you look at Instagram, if you put LGBT versus LGBTQ, the Q one has way more people. So they're trying to like this is what is their you know what I mean? They're going with that.
And the
Yeah.
Q is just another way to hide behind a label that you don't, like, in my opinion, that you don't want to accept. Like, you're a man that sleeps with other men. You're not queer. I want to say that you're gay.
Oh, I got in a ton of trouble with Blair when I did this tweet a while ago. I think somebody mentioned in the thing where I said, well, perhaps we should find out, separate the LGBT and the Q. And I was, or the, LGB and the T. And
Yes.
woo!
Oh, probably fell off their rockers.
Everybody was, including Brandon Strock, was mad at me a little bit disappointed. We had to talk about it, but at the time, and I got so much hate. Like I've never experienced that. Like with any, like going to the Grammys wearing the Trump suit, nothing compared to this. It was like boom, boom, constant from the LGBT community because they really thought that I was trying to say a lot of things that I was not trying to say.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? I was just trying to say like, well, perhaps that when you're talking about sexuality versus gender, maybe there's a separation and maybe we could separate those things to clarify, the trans and community and the gender associated issues are separate from the sexuality things that gay people are going through, for instance. Does that make sense? I didn't express myself like perfectly. And yeah, I had a MAGA flag in the background or whatever. I did do some triggering. A MAGA
I
hat.
really love that.
All the trigger.
I triggered. I had really beautiful curly pink hair and like pink. And like, should we? Yeah, I was trying to trigger a little bit. But the bottom line was the question still remained. Like, I think should we kind of figure out a way to say, hey, well, this is a little separate from this. And
I feel the same way, but I think that they and I'm going to say they, the gay community, is so far gone. Well, let's put it this way. First off, they're toxic. We already knew that they were toxic. I've been in that community. I bartended before.
Oh,
admittedly, self-admittedly, they hate themselves. They say, "Oh, I hate gay people."
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
it's self-admittedly.
Yeah.
They say that.
But they're too far gone to the point of no return now. So like they've added all these letters and they've added all of these flags. And I think what they're really missing here is that like they're also pushing the straight community so far away from them now.
Yeah.
Hello.
And
That's why I'm doing the show.
I got hate, Ricky, a couple of weeks ago because there was the bakery shop that got vandalized by a far right guy. He put FAG on the side of the building. Of course that's wrong. Vandalism is wrong. Slurs are wrong, like absolutely. But
Right.
they're literally creating these monsters. They're spawning monsters. They're spawning racism from that because people don't want you talking to their kids about stuff like that. They don't want, and then the media is making monkeypox seem like it's our thing, right? It's the new AIDS thing. So it's like they have all these emotions. So like, F them. Like, we're going to vandalize this building.
Right. And that was always a thing that worried me about the radical left LGBT. I was worried that they were going to really hurt um, all of us.
Yeah.
A period. I was like, this is whacked. And so I was like, let's try to balance the scale a little bit and show straight people that we're not all the same, that we don't all think in this, we don't all like agree with what they're doing. And maybe perhaps we can balance the scale so there aren't as many hate crimes from straight people are trying to hurt gay people. And I think the the radical left side doesn't acknowledge that our intentions are with what they are. We're trying to help. We're not trying to hurt the community.
They are, though. That's the thing. I feel like you can't approach these people as if they're honest or as if they mean anything they say. Their words mean nothing. And it's interesting because the equality that gay people have gotten over the last decade or so, and they don't want it. For years now, they don't want it. They will just say how oppressed we are and stuff. So now they're sort of basically trying to take it away from the rest of us who just want our sexual orientation to be like any other boring fact about ourselves. These people who do everything to push society away and distance themselves from it now want to take that sort of acceptance and equality away from the rest of us.
It's like we're supposed to be gay and that's it. Like we're just supposed to be gay men and that's the way we're supposed to think. And like the biggest thing that I find offensive, and I do a lot of like TikTok debates and stuff like that. And one of the biggest things that I find the biggest offense is you're gay and you think like that. Like I find that so offensive because it's like I'm my own person. I have my own thoughts. I have my own opinions. Like I'm not like a robot that you can control. And when people say like I'm supposed to think or accept this because of my sexuality, it's like that's like one of the biggest things. Like when I vote right, it's like, yeah, you know, the Republicans might not be the biggest party that supports my marriage, but there's so many things that my party supports that I support. And I agree with a majority of the things that my party says, except for that one thing. I'm not going to vote for a party that is actively destroying our country just because they let me marry. It's like bait and switch in that moment. So for me, it's really offensive, especially nowadays being, going against the grain, swimming upstream, because people definitely place these stereotypes on you that can be very hurtful. So.
Absolutely.
And I don't think that there is like this huge desire amongst Republicans that they care so much about gay marriage. I hope it's not. I hope that's not going to be sort of the beginning of what's coming. But I don't think people really care all that much. But do you guys get this too, where I can't stand anytime some liberal comes at me about any political issue, they just go right to gay shit. I'm like, I don't care. Like gay marriage. And keep in mind, like I'm like a bridezilla in the making. I'm like, I just want to like get married and like be a housewife and like move to a farm. But like, I don't think gay marriage is not like top 100 of. I mean, we're living through this attempted communist revolution. I've been segregated in my hometown for the last year, and I'm supposed to care about gay marriage?
Yes.
It's so insulting. It's like they think that all there is to life is being gay. It's like, especially if you're a gay person was sort of shunned by your family or something. What's the most important issue for you? Economics, being able to get a job and set up your life. If they think gay people are so oppressed, then what would be an important issue for them? The Second Amendment, defending yourself. So these are all indirectly gay issues, not just this one thing that they fixate on.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I'm the person causing this echo, by the way.
We don't hear an echo on you.
Yeah, I don't either.
Okay, never mind.
Only you hear it back.
It's interesting because it's like if you think about like gay issues, really the United States should be this beacon, of hope for the rest of these countries. And you see people not even really paying attention to the stuff that's happening in other countries to our people. And it's like we're sitting here supporting countries that don't even support people like us. And I feel like our community is just so blind to the actual real things that are happening and affecting our community, and they just love painting these pictures of oppression that are happening here in the States. And it's like, I'm not oppressed. Like, look at us right now, like just online speaking who we are, walking out. Like, try to do that 100 years ago, you know. It definitely would have a different outcome.
Yeah.
Even 10 years ago.
Mm-hmm. I have to say, like, I think on libs of TikTok, we're gonna take a look at libs of TikTok stuff. I think you kind of nailed it, Mikey, a little bit about how you know a little bit of fear that they might come for gay marriage, right? We kind of have this fear about that now, or we always have, but at the same time, it's like I don't think that it helps that they're doing things in front of children and at church, and they're doing drag at church now and things like that. It's kind of at first we would have been like, oh yeah, they would never, the conservatives wouldn't don't really care about the gay marriage. But I feel like the more they keep pushing and pushing and pushing people away like that with certain things, it makes them kind of go like, maybe we should not reward. But you know what I'm saying? Like they kind of will try to clump. That's all I'm saying. But that's why I get nervous when I see. I'm not gonna lie. When I see gays against boomers, you know, the banned word. Some of their posts, I'm like, oh God, I have to admit, because I'm like, dude, yes, you're showing, you know, that we are appalled by this, but at the same time, we're showing. I don't think we should hide it. That's not something I believe in either. But like, I feel like it's like, whoa, we are putting it in their faces more, and it's like, I have like I have ideas about this, and questions I want to ask you guys about the movement, right? The gays against the G word, gag. It's called gag, right? I just have some questions about it. Like, what? First of all, you know, children come to my shows sometimes, and I have been known to wear like, gosh, like sometimes not risque, but just like tight outfits and things like that, and makeup and hair, and if I see there's children, you know, in the front row, and I need the parents, and there's like this, I will adjust my show. I admit that. Like, I'm not gonna, you know, but I am gonna sing my songs, right? And one of my songs is called "Boys and Sometimes Girls." I mean, it's like,
oh, you like go that way?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I'm like 2%.
2%. That's funny.
Like,
Yeah,
I'm like minus 2%.
But yeah, I sing my song, and I'm not trying. Does that make sense? Does that make me a blah blah blah? No. Or if Miley is like doing crazy stuff in front of kids or things like that. The point is like, I just have some questions about the whole G word, and what is the line? Like, what is the line that's appropriate versus not appropriate? Or when does that make sense? Just got questions.
For me, I think, so yeah, I have no problem with that. And I think when you look at a lot of these things with like the drag queen story times and stuff, that's not even, in my opinion, the worst part of it. Except for like the very extreme examples where they're like naked, which is many of them. But if it's just somebody like in a skimpy costume, fine, whatever. It's not great, but whatever. My problem with it is that it's ideological G wording. It's the agenda that's coming along with it. They are there for a reason. This is a naturally occurring phenomenon. This wasn't happening 10 years ago, 20 years ago. This is sort of a delivery system for an entire ideology that they're trying to bring kids into. So I think that's the most nefarious part about things like that.
They're not only, they're not.
I should say they try to make this comparison to, it's like taking a kid to Hooters. No, it's not. If kids go to the beach, they see people. That's not really the horrible thing that's happening. The real insidious thing is that this is an indoctrination system for an entire cult belief system.
Right. The belief that you can change your gender at will. Things like that. Like you can, Yeah.
Well,
There's a
and
lot of
coercing
belief.
them into it. Did you see that teacher who said, like, she said her pronouns and one kid said that, and the entire class changed their pronouns of like
I saw that.
5-year-olds?
I saw that.
There's such an element of coercion.
For me, I think what it is like society, we have these like societal norms that we have with everything. Whether it become, drag queens, it was an adult entertainment, has always been that. And we have like, adult venues where adult things will happen, with like strippers. And I don't think necessarily, Ricky, I would put you on the same playing field as like, a drag queen, because I don't think I would put like an artist, not saying that drag isn't an art form. I just think it's a different type of art form. And for you, I think it's different when you have an artist up there singing a song, and unlike like Christina Aguilera, who was doing like inappropriate things, obviously, but just a simple song. I don't know if I can compare that to like a drag queen being indecently exposed with erotic music, doing erotic things,
Mm,
because then that changes the whole scope of it for me. Because now you're taking like something as simple as singing a song with maybe a tight outfit to indecent exposure, sexualized experience in an adult venue. I don't know if I would put you guys on the same playing field, and I think that that's like where people will start comparing things like to Hooters, and it's like you're taking one artist and comparing it to like apples, like it's apples to oranges. They're not the same. And if you put drag queens on the same playing level as like strippers and adult content creators and those types of things, you don't necessarily put them on the same playing field as a waitress or a musician. Um,
mm, mm. Nicely worded. Yeah, I mean, I grew up idolizing Madonna, right? Even as a kid, um, I really loved her, and she was quite provocative, And my mom would let me. So obviously, she was provocative, but like as a kid, I just loved her so much, and she did a lot of crazy stuff, and on stage. Um, my mother did take me to go see Truth or Dare, but she would like cover my eyes for like the quote bad parts or the bad language or the bad things that she did. But I don't I don't I really wanted to go to her concert. I'm still bitter about this. I wanted to go to Blonde Ambition, um, but my mom said no. And that's the one where she was like masturbating on a bed, and I imagine that. I mean, she didn't put something in her crotch. You know what I mean? But she like you guys know the like a virgin number, don't you?
Yeah,
yeah,
Yeah.
we're
You do.
gay.
yeah,
Come on
it's like
now.
an anthem.
Yeah,
Okay,
but
well
it ain't
that
true for none of us.
I mean, but that choreography and that is just
Ironic
like
anthem.
that is just it's like permanent, like stapled in my brain like forever and ever. Um, but what am I trying to say? Like if a child is it is she a I don't believe that she is a quote gr whatever for doing that on stage, and I think that it's a parent's responsibility to do what my mother did was like you're not going to go there, or if you do you're censored, censoring out all these parts. So there's a part of me that's like I want to give the power to the parent. And then there's the part of me that's like they're taking that power away from the parent. And that's when I get all effed up in my head. That's where I get messed up because there are things that they're doing right now um, without the parents' consent. That's when I think it's like, oh,
Yeah,
damn.
I just reported on what was it, a Pride reading story, um, where the parents had absolutely no idea that the kids were going through this when they dropped them off.
Ugh.
Oh, really?
Hmm.
The kids didn't have seen. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
The parents need to be notified.
Yeah, the parent came rushing to the library to pick up their kids, and because the kids called and said what was going on, and the mother was very religious, which is her right, and let the library know how inappropriate it was.
How do you guys feel about? Have you ever been to drag queen, uh, drag con?
No.
I'm a bad gay. I've never even seen an episode of RuPaul.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I stopped watching that show.
I'm too homophobic to watch it.
It's
man.
rigged, so I stopped watching it. It's like just like any other
Really?
show. Oh yeah, and then like all these stories of RuPaul have come out about how he treats the girls and all that stuff, and
Yeah, he's kind of he's a mean person.
he's gay. What do you expect? I mean,
He's
you
a
expect him to
capitalist.
go in there? Yeah, it's like
He only cares about the money. He's a
yeah,
Scorpio.
of course.
Cares about the money.
That's what's funny is like for all the years that I was a liberal, from the day I came out, I could never get along with these gay guys, and this is really the first since like walking away from the left is the first time in my life that I have so many amazing gay friends because
Yeah,
homocons, some of them are still quite bitchy, but a lot of us are cool. So it's nice to learn that that's like a specific type of liberal gay.
Yeah, I remember when I was like dating. Well, I used to date women for a long time, and then growing up, and then I kind of switched. Okay, started dating men.
Should have stuck with women. They're
I
better.
should have stuck with women. They're so much easier. Oh my god, women are so much easier. But like, no, that was a realization. Like, wow, men are very, very mean and complicated and emotional. Gay men are emotional and manipulative, and they play games. Like, never tell a gay man you like him. I mean, whoa. But with a
oh
girl,
yeah,
it was always
Right.
like you'd say, "I like you." She'd be like, "Oh my god, I like you too. Let's hang out." It was like that. But wow, it was a rude awakening. I used to have like problems dating guys too because I didn't understand why are they what's wrong? Like why do we get along? This is so weird. And I think it was because of the fundamental way that I think about things. I'm not you know, a communist. I'm not a socialist. I'm not a, you know, collective thinker. So they have a problem with that. They had a problem with that with
yep.
someone like me who is more about individualism and they get uncomfortable with that. And so that didn't come out until later, much later. I thought to myself, oh, now I realize why I had such a really difficult time dating in the gay world is because the guys I was dating, I think were probably a little more on the left side.
And most of them are just dumb.
Yes,
Sorry.
the truth.
That too. That's something I also learned during the whole thing that happened in 2016. I realized that wow, there are a lot of dumb people in the world, and I did not know that. That's something I did
in
not know.
2016, right?
Oh yeah,
I wasn't until after.
really?
What about you?
Me?
hmm
Did I vote?
No, I mean, like, were you a liberal at one time, or?
Oh no, it's a funny story. Like my family was never. We never talked politics. We never talked politics until 2016.
Oh wow,
And it comes to find out all of us are conservative except for my mom.
that's awesome.
Oh, except for your mom. How is that?
Yeah.
How does that go?
We get hit often. Yeah.
Where do you live, Info Savage? I didn't ask.
I live in Orange County, California.
Orange County.
California.
All right.
So not too far from Disneyland or LA.
We're all
Nice.
stuck in blue states.
Yeah, Mikey Harlow's in New York.
I refuse to leave. Like I want to leave so bad. I want to leave California. I want to go to Florida with everyone else. But I'm the kind of guy that's like, you know what? I'll go through conflict. And here I'm just like going through conflict every day that I wear my Save America hat. So it's like bliss for me that I get to educate people every day about their idiocy.
Here it's just depressing. It's like I used to love this city so much. I was born here. I've lived here my whole life. I used to love it, and it's just so different now. It's like there's the whole energy. It just feels like it was so depressing. Last night I went to get pizza with my dad, and we went to the neighborhood I grew up in, the Upper West Side. It's because this used to be like such a nice. Have you ever seen that movie You've Got Mail?
Yeah.
That's like my neighborhood that I grew up in. They filmed it when I was a kid on my block. Like that's just like a tour of my home neighborhood. And it was so nice. And now it's like junkies everywhere, bums everywhere, condemned buildings, crazy people screaming. Like
wow.
It made me so sad to see that.
Wow.
It's horrible. You see now, like here in California, like these mega rich homes, like, be $2-3 million, and you have homeless people shooting up drugs right in front of your door, steps from your
Wow.
door, steps from where your kids are playing.
In
Rodeo
Orange
Drive,
County?
yeah, not in Orange County because we're a Republican county, but like LA, which is Democrat. Even Rodeo Drive, like the street looks nice, but if you park one street over, it'll probably get stolen. And it's like people are like, now you have like word that maybe Gavin Newsom may run for president, and it's like, look at what he's
Ooh,
done to California, in the last 25 years. Like, I don't think that this is something we need for our country right now.
no.
These people have shown they will vote for anyone. Like I saw somebody
Yeah.
the other day was joking about if AOC runs, and they were like, "Haha, yeah, please run." And I'm like, "Shut up, shut up, shut up, shut up. Take it deathly seriously, because these people just voted for a dementia-ridden corpse.
Oh, yeah.
They will vote for anyone. Like that's one thing I can never get over. Like,
Oh, God.
if you want to vote for like Hillary, Bernie Sanders, I understand that. I don't agree, but I understand that. Whatever. But the fact that these people think so little of their country that they would put this corpse who doesn't even know his own name half the time as leader of the free world is just unbelievable.
And what's remarkable is they all hate him, and nobody really liked him. 5 people came to his rallies. And my own friend said, who voted for him, he said, I hate my president, at like, I'm like, well, he's like, are you going to vote for Trump again? I'm like, yeah, of course. Because the things that he wanted, I wanted. And 9 times out of 10, he came through with those things that he was talking about doing.
Yeah.
And that's the difference between the vote that happened. Like the people who voted for Biden are 9 times out of 10 regret their decision. But the people who voted for Trumpy, we didn't. We don't. We actually like what he was doing for the most part.
It bothers me so much too, because it's like now they're interested in fact. Well, most of them still aren't interested in fact, but it's like it bothers me so much because he was in office for half a century. I didn't vote for Trump in 2016 because he had no record to go off of. I felt like who knows what would happen. In 2020, I did based on his record. Biden had half a century of record of screwing everyone.
Everything.
It's like, who could have possibly seen this coming?
And
morons.
And then they had the videos of him saying that gay marriage is like all the things, that homophobic things he said about.
Oh, he voted to ban gay marriage. He voted to ban gay people from serving in the military. He voted to ban gay people from donating blood.
For me, it's just the Democrats just see them as votes. They don't see you as constituents that need to be served. They just see you as votes, and they're going to say whatever they can to get you to vote for them, and then that's it.
Yeah. Yep. I feel the same way about a lot of Republicans, a lot of whack people, Republicans out there. But I think they're getting weeded out. And I think that, I hope that there was some sort of like master plan happening that where, Trump wanted people to see what exactly they're capable of. And hopefully, in order to,
You really think that?
I think that I said, I hope.
I think
I don't know. I'm hoping.
When people say, "Oh, this was a plan," I'm like, first of all, no. Second of all, if it was, worst plan ever.
Worst.
I think you're going to see a shift, right?
It's like the plan is we're going to watch you suffer so hard.
We're going to take political prisoners. We're going to segregate you. We're going to destroy.
Oh, stop. That's why I'm so mad at the Republican Party. I'm so angry at Trump for that. I'm pissed. Every day he should be out there saying they have prisoners that we need to get them out. He every day should be campaigning on that or talking about that on his socials. And every day we should be talking about that. I cannot believe they are imprisoned you know what I'm saying, for this long with no what is it called when you have no representation or no trial? You're supposed to get a speedy trial. Ooh, I'm angry about that.
Yeah, I'll say I wish to God that Trump were president right now. If he's the nominee in 2024, I will vote for him. But I really hope it's DeSantis. I'm so
Yeah.
glad it's DeSantis, and I think a lot of people agree secretly. It's like, I just think we need a fresh start.
I
And
think
he's been spectacular. I've never heard of a governor where everyone I know in his state is like, no, he can't run. You can't take him from us. I've never heard that before with a governor.
I like him too. If it came down to it, and you know, it was only him on the ticket, I'd vote for him. But I'll always vote for Trumpy. Trumpy.
I think it might be Trump and DeSantis. I mean, because he can't
Yeah.
choose Pence, right? So I honestly think Trump. I think Trump is going to be more quiet, and DeSantis is going to bring a lot of push to his ticket versus before. I think right now, like you're seeing, like the left thinks like, oh, they're mobilizing young voters, right? And it's like, well, so are we, So I think you're definitely going to see, like maybe within the next 10 years, a change of these parties. Like the Republican Party right now may not be fully gung ho about gay marriage, but give it 10 to 15 years, you may see that shift because of people like us that are going to become more voices. Our children will be most likely grow up with the same ideologies as us, and it's going to change the party. So for me, it's like, who knows where our politics are going to be at that time. But all I know is we're openly out, saying who we support. And it's just more and more is just going to build for both sides of young people. And we'll see what happens, right?
Yeah, we'll definitely see what happens.
I think, like if it were to happen at some point that gay marriage is enshrined into law, great. But I totally support Republicans voting against this last one because it's so obvious what Democrats are trying to do, that they're trying to make that everyone forget about the economy, forget about the lockdowns, forget about the mandates. I feel like through this election, Republicans should just say no whenever these people try to talk about ridiculous things like gay marriage, right? No one cares right now except them. That's why they're trying to make this an issue. So I feel like don't take the bait on it. Just no, this election is not about gay marriage of all things.
Yeah, and it's like even if they were going to take it away, it really wouldn't bat an eyelash to me, considering like half of our community thinks life isn't worth living and 25% of us are addicted to hardcore drugs. Like I think I would rather focus my time there than worrying about whether or not this junkie's going to be able to walk up to the altar shooting his arm full of meth. Like I don't think that's the outlook or what I want to see.
You guys, I need to find someone like willing to marry me first before I care about gay marriage. No such luck yet.
Well, my guy, we've been together for almost going on 10 years. I think our 10-year anniversary.
I remember when you told me this, I was like, oh my God, that's like 1,000 years in gay years.
In gay years, 1,000. We all know this.
Yeah.
I love him forever. That's the bottom line. But like we talked about marriage, because I was the one at first who was like, oh, I want to get married. I used to be like hardcore, I guess like classical liberal back in 2014. I was like, we need gay marriage, but back in the day, was it 2012 we got passed or 14? I can't recall.
14.
Was it 14?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like I was like pro, let's the reason why I wanted it was not because necessarily about the morality of it, whether it was right or wrong, but more about the financial aspects, right? The tax cuts. That bothered me. The inequality of like someone who's married gets all these great tax cuts, but the gays don't get the same. That bothered me. And so that's why I was like, full force when we first. And so with my partner, I was like at one point, we should get married. Why don't we get married? And he's like, no, absolutely not. I'm like, why? He said, because he's not religious. He's like, I'm not religious. And I don't want to do anything that has to do with that. That was his thing. And
It was a religious practice, so
it's kind of a religious thing, you know, if you, and I understand there are gays that are religious, but most are not. I don't think, I
right.
don't know. I don't know what they are. I'm not going to speak for all gays, but like,
That's true.
are you really like, you know, I don't know. I personally wouldn't be as crazy. I would be upset. Don't get me wrong. I would be upset. Like, damn, because I would think about the tax rates. That's what I would be really, really pissed about. But otherwise, I'd be like, it's kind of like, well, let the states decide and go ahead and figure that out. I don't
Yeah,
know.
I would be more pissed because it would just be so stupid for Republicans to take as a top. I mean, they just doubled their percentage of the LGBT vote, and people say, "Oh, why should they care if gay people vote Republican?" Well, because there are millions and millions of us, and most elections these days are decided by not very many votes. 2016, I think, was something like 80,000 votes total. Gay people
In
are number
2020, it was 15% of our community voted Republican.
You need
It was
us.
like 30.
Republicans, you need us.
And I think that's a failure on our part, really, because if you think of like the Black Caucus, they're very organized, you know. And for us, we don't really have like a gay Republican Party organization. And I think if we did, and we had the facts and the data, like, look, we represent 10 million votes, I think the Republican Party would think a little bit differently about how they respond to the LGBT community. But right now, I think we're just starting to get there because more and more people are waking up now to what they're voting for, but what they're really voting for. And so I think hopefully we'll see that shift. We will, because there's more people like us. So
Yeah. On that note, you guys, I have to end the show. It's been such an amazing conversation. I hope to have you back whenever ever you want.
yeah.
Absolutely. My show is your show. Whenever you want to be here, I will open my arms to you. You guys are awesome. Great conversationalists. Conservative Aunt had to leave. I guess it was maybe an issue with the Wi-Fi, but he was also great too. I enjoyed him as well. Mikey Harlow, where can people find you and follow you?
I have the Twitter that's not Mike Harlow because I was banned for so long. I had to be not Mike Harlow, but apparently I can be Mike Harlow again, but not Mike Harlow. Or Instagram, Sleepy Harlow _ I got to change that. I had to add the underscore to get out of my like banning cycle. So Sleepy Harlow _ Oh, and I have a YouTube channel. Go to my YouTube channel. I'm like starting to do regular stuff on it. We just did a crazy show the other night. So
Fantastic.
For me, you can follow me on all of my social medias with InfoSavage. You can also go to frankrodriguezshow.com and follow all of my stuff there. So either one is fine.
Fantastic. And of course, you guys can follow me at Ricky Rebel Rocks. Thank you, fellas, for being here. I appreciate it. I'm going to end this show with, I'm from LA. So I wrote a song about during the lockdowns, actually. My friend and I wrote a whole album. It's called Wild Reality. And you guys can pre-order the CD right now at rickyrebelrocks.com. It's an amazing hyper pop, like disco funk record. It's crazy. It's nostalgic, but also like futuristic sounding. But we wrote Los Angeles because of the riots. And I was pissed about the riots, to be honest. Really, really effing pissed. And so we wrote this song called Los Angeles, and the lyrics are burn the whole mother down. Okay. So I'm going to share the track with the video with you. Thank you guys so much for joining us. We'll be back next Tuesday at 12 p.m. PST, Tuesdays with Rebel. Thank you. Love you. Bye, guys.
Getting hot.
on fire. Anything you want, anything you need, you're smoking all that green. Bubba to bumper, doing your thing, driving on the fast lane. Trips on the strip, looking for the tips for the earthquake shaking. Streets full of trash, looking for the cash in the back of a limousine. Anything you want, anything you need. Los Angeles, yeah. Fans on the block, playing their rock, moving it dirty. Pretty girls in heat, dancing to the beat of riding city. Anything you want, anything you need. Los Angeles. Yeah, 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 yeah. Let's boogie. Let's boogie. Burn the whole mother down. Let's boogie. Let's burn it. Let's boogie. Turn the whole mother down. I'm from Atlanta, baby. LA's got it. I'll figure it out. It knows you want it. Leave you without. It might be plenty. The time is now to make it pay. Turn the whole mother down.
Yeah, you know what it is, man.
Let's boogie.
Los Angeles.
Burn the whole mother down. Let's boogie. Let's burn it. Let's boogie.
Let's go crazy.
Burn the whole mother down. Let's boogie. Let's burn it. Let's boogie. Burn the whole mother down. Let's boogie. Let's burn it. Let's boogie.